I'm AJ from Augment Code. You might have seen me on the YouTube here. I do a lot of the videos here at Augment. Today we have a special live stream. Hopefully soon I'll be joined by Cody from Sentry. Oh, here he is. Let me bring him up. Um, see if this works. There we go. Can you hear me, Cody? Maybe I gotta. Hello?
Oh, I figured out why. Now I can hear.
Great. And can you see my screen and stuff too?
Yes, I see you arranging the windows by the looks of it.
Awesome.
Solid.
Yeah, so today we're hoping to make an MCP or two servers. My original plan for this was to make an Augment Code context engine MCP, so people can use the powerful context engine of Augment Code in any agent, any framework that has MCP connectivity. I did this as a test before because I wasn't sure like how easy this would be. I actually found the project that I made, and I think it took me like, I don't know, 3 or 4 prompts, and I'm looking at the times, and I think it actually took a bit longer than an hour, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to do that today. So, in case I did think of another fun MCP that I think will be a bit smaller and quicker to do, and that is a Mac Say MCP. I've kind of always wanted the agent to be able to communicate with me through audio to give me like progress updates while I'm away from the computer. And there's a like command in Mac, the Say command, where you can just like, actually, I'll show you. I think you just be like, say hello world,
Hello
and
world.
yeah, the Mac just talks to you in like a pretty robotic voice. But yeah, it is fun. So I think we can get both of these going at the same time. I'm just going to be using the Augment Code IDE extension, 2 threads here. I already have a prompt set up. And yeah, that's my plan. Cody, how are you doing today? Would you like to give an intro to yourself and what you're hoping to get out of today's session?
Yeah, excited to hang out and see what you build. So my name's Cody D'Arkland. I look after developer experience at Sentry, and so we built a pretty cool MCP server. I built a bunch of MCP servers. We do some cool things inside of the MCP monitoring space. So I'm gonna hang out and try to find where things break and try to help you fix it if it happens. So excited to watch.
Awesome. Okay, so I've already pre-wrote some prompts here. I actually got the Augment Prompt Enhancer to help me write these. I'm not sure how's the size of this. Can you see stuff, or should I make it bigger?
Maybe a little bit bigger. It does look pretty small.
Yeah. All right. Let's do that. Okay. That should be that should be better. Yeah. So one probably big thing, a commonality in both these prompts, you'll see I do have like a research phase or a context gathering phase to research like MCP standards and stuff because they do change, and these models are on, they have a knowledge cutoff date, so they're only knowledgeable up to a certain part, and MCP is like cutting edge and changes all the time. And to facilitate that, Augment does have its own web search tool inbuilt, but I have been trying out this one recently called Exa. Has a web search MCP, and I found it to be really good, so I'm using that today. Yeah. So I'll just kick these off unless you have any other suggestions, Cody.
Yeah, I think this is good.
Okay, great.
I'm getting a little bit of an echo on your side though. I don't know if other
Oh,
people are hearing it.
I'll double check once I kick these off. Arc chamber also suggests. Oh yeah, the cam size was covering up a lot of these. Yeah, let me just double check the audio as well. I'm AJ from Augment. Whoop. Okay, I think it might just be on the Video Ninja side. Let's see. Is that any better? Okay, perfect. Okay, so yeah, we can see Augment is doing these extra web searches, checking for model context protocol standards, and I've also told it to use to check Augie help because this Augie context MCP kind of is just a wrapper around the CLI. That's how I got it to work before. I'll check up on the MaxSay one. MaxSay one was actually trying to use the web fetch as well, but it seems like those failed. But yeah. They will continue here.
Yeah,
Oh shit. Sorry, Cody. I just realized I had it muted while I was. I know you just went on for a while, but
cool.
but
So I think like what I was saying is like MCP servers while you're starting to build this out, I think like it's interesting because what you're doing here is like one that's really focused on like taking an action in the sense of like having MCP say or having a Max say go and like say things to you and do something. And I
yeah,
think like there are a couple of different ways people use MCP servers. One version of this is ones that take action and go do automation things and go and build stuff. A good example of this would be like Sentry going and creating a project or going and like doing an action inside of the Sentry UI. Other ones are focused more on like pulling context in and like being able to go and get information and bring it in. I think it's like it's just an interesting thing to think about. And for people who are like newly exposed to the MCP space, there's kind of like an early decision you want to make on some of these tools. The right answer is all of them, right? Like a mixture of like things for the things you need to be able to get done. Um, but it's a more of like an interesting call out for people to think about. Like it's not always about going and like automating an action. Sometimes it is really just like gathering information to make your LLM smarter, to make your IDE smarter with the thing you're trying to accomplish.
yeah. I think that what kind of was the main original vision was to bring context in, hence the word like model context protocol.
Yeah, because at that point, like RAG was really hard, and still is. Like RAG is a pretty hard thing to solve. Ultimately, like in small scale, it's relatively straightforward. But as this problem like grows, like the right ways of getting information in is actually hard, and like people were just stitching together tool calls in like interesting ways without like a really good like structure around them as far as like from a kind of protocol level thing. Uh, and yeah, so like but then I think as things moved on, people started saying, okay, well, like sometimes the context for what I want to work on is a project that's created and the information that comes back from that. And so I need to be able to create that project to get that context to use it as part of future calls. And like, I don't know. I think MCP's adoption is really interesting in that way.
Yeah. So which MCPs do you use, Cody, if any?
I bounce around quite a bit. I've been using the Chrome DevTools one a lot more. Obviously, I use the Sentry one a ton, which like it feels like I have to say because I work here, but I really do use it a ton. Um, I've used a few search ones. I tend to like move things in and out quite a bit overall. So I think most of my time is spent like the Chrome DevTools one as well as the Sentry one though.
Did you use Playwright before Chrome DevTools? Because I've
Yeah,
noticed like Chrome
yeah.
DevTools came out and everyone kind of switched over. What made you switch over?
I feel like the Chrome DevTools one is a little more. I mean, I love Playwright. I'll always love Playwright. Playwright's great product. So huge shout out to Playwright team. But I felt like I got a lot more of like the practical debugging information that I needed from interactions between Sentry and the Chrome DevTools one. Like they filled
Mm,
in interesting blanks from each other, and so I just got a lot more out of it. I felt like the Playwright one was really more focused on like taking browser actions, whereas the
yeah.
Chrome DevTools one is a lot more focused on like gathering context from my browser session, which was like just more of what I needed for the things I was building.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. I recently tried to try out the Chrome DevTools one, and I went back to Playwright. I think one of the main features on the Playwright one I like is the like extension mode, so it like reuses your Chrome session.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I thought because I'm always testing apps that like require authentication and stuff, and I'm not sure, is there a way that you handle that with Chrome DevTools or?
I just don't have as much of for like the things I'm building at the time. Like I think your use case is totally a true one, and that you would have to go back to Playwright for. Um, I don't have like the ones that I'm typically building on. Like I don't need the existing
Yeah.
browser session, so it's just not as big of an issue. So it's like very specific to me, and I think that's what's kind of cool about MCP overall. Is like it's
Mhm.
very easy to make these pluggable based on like the workflow that you're using.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, these are still cooking here. I mean, we could have shut up a third one too. I've always wanted a Mac OS controlling one, like similar to Playwright, but for the whole operating system.
They got some cool like query based ones that'll like go and pull stuff out, but like nothing that's really like driving Mac OS at this point. At least not that I've seen.
Yeah, there's some that exist. I've tried. I think I've only tried one actually, but yeah, it wasn't nearly as nice as I was hoping. Maybe I should check up on some progress here. Mostly docs for the Maxay one, and for the Augie one. Oh, we actually have a project structure. I'm pretty sure I told this one to do it in TypeScript, as that's what the original was. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, it's running tests. Nice. And Maxay is still in the research phase. It's pretty interesting because I thought the Maxay would be like faster to turn around.
Yeah, something we were talking about before, before we jumped on, we were just doing like some of the
Hmm.
prep stuff is, and obviously like Augment's going to go and build this however it wants to. But I think like there's a couple of like common paths people take when they're like building out MCP servers from scratch.
Hmm.
I think we built the Sentry one largely on the Cloudflare packages. They've done like a really good job of building like a good bootstrap approach. And so like the reason I'm bringing this up is like a lot of people ask me, hey, how like I find MCP really confusing. I don't really know where to get started. And like the best advice I give people is to like just jump in and try to build something. Like there's really cool ground floor ones, like the one you're doing here is like a good example. My first MCP server I ever built was like a Firecrawl MCP server. So I went and like pulled a free API key from Firecrawl and used it to go and like build just a small MCP for scraping websites off. And like doing this is like a really good way to like understand how MCP really like works in the usage. Now, obviously, like architecture and like deeper development stuff is stuff that can come after that. But I think Cloudflare is a really good like getting started for theirs, and you can get it up and running on Cloudflare Workers really easily. I think the Next.js one is really fantastic. Like they have this MCP handler package. It'll take any API route, and you can effectively just wrap it in an MCP server. And so like these are really good ways to get started like in a very like directed approach. Like if you don't want to just prompt and have it go and like build one for you, if you want to like scaffold out the initial version yourself and then have Augment Code go and build the tools for you, that's definitely like a path. So if people are looking at ways to like go and like try this out, I would highly suggest like taking one of those paths. Both of those are going to be like one or two command lines, and you're going to be up and running with one. So like it's very very easy
Mm,
to get started with.
nice. Yeah, so both these agents finished. I just realized for the Max A one, the prompt actually only said research and documents. So that's, I guess, my bad for not reading over that. So we only got documents. But luckily, the Augie one has also finished on time, and that one says we can test it out with MCP Inspector tool. I've noticed that's a pretty common tool people use to debug these MCPs. What are your thoughts on that one, Cody?
Yeah, I think MCP inspectors are a really good way. I tend to kind of just like YOLO my way into just attaching it. So like once I see like the code is there and like it's structured well, and if the server comes up, I'll usually just try to attach it into like whatever IDE plugin I'm using. But MCP inspector is great also. Like we use that a ton for debugging like the Sentry one.
Hmm.
Because it can handle auth and all that. And I think MCP inspector is actually like built for. I thought it was built by Cloudflare. I could be wrong on that. So just like had good synergy with like what we were building overall.
Nice. Yeah. So should we go ahead and test this? I guess.
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. So yeah, I'm going to bring up the command line or terminal, and it says we should npm run build after npm install. Is that built? I guess that built.
Yeah, it's
Can
probably pretty fast because they're
yeah.
fairly small.
Why isn't my copy working? Normally, I'm used to seeing like so many build lines, so it's just like. And this is a test server that it gave ourselves itself. And then I guess we can also, yeah, that looks like it worked. And this is npm run inspector. I think this opens up a web UI.
So what's interesting is that, and like not again all
Hmm.
architecture decisions, but this is built it as a local one, right? So like obviously you have
Yes.
the code locally, but if you were to go and like want to use this for real, you would package this up and drop it out in like a GitHub repo, and people would clone it down and like run it locally. The other way that people will run these sometimes is running them as like remotely hosted ones, and that's pretty popular now also.
Yeah.
Like the Cloudflare example I shared before, or the Next.js one are largely like remote hosted ones that would work. You can do that. Either one of them are going to work locally ultimately, but like the Next.js one is certainly like way too heavy for it to be like or necessary for it to run locally. But the Cloudflare one works pretty well locally. Our standard IO one is local, and it's still built off of the Cloudflare helpers. So
Yeah, definitely. I much prefer, yeah, the HTTP ones. Just adding them. It's like one line in your config, and it connects. You don't have to install anything. When I did make this Augie MCP initially, I did put it on MPX or like npm, so it kind
yeah,
of is still like a bit easier than cloning and running and building yourself. But
totally.
yeah, not as nice as like remote hosted, but yeah, I don't know if that's possible with something like this because it kind of has to index a local code repo. But yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Um. So yeah, should we test this with MCP Inspector, or do you have any ideas that
No,
you'd like
I
to
think
see?
fire it up in Inspector. Let's see what happens.
All right. Um. Node. I think we have to put the path to this. So let's see. Uh, OGMCP dist index.js. Okay, connect. Ooh, got an error. Check console logs. Maybe that's a relative path. Failed to fetch.
So usually you have to, for against Inspector. Typically, I think you have to have it actually like run. Oh no, never mind. It looks like it's already set up to run inside of Inspector. Um,
Maybe it's a. Nope, same. Hmm. Okay. So I guess we got to somewhere we need to debug?
So unfortunately, this one is run state of the actual the actual MCP server itself.
Hmm. I
What
could
does
try.
it give you for the actual run command? It's like fire up the give it a like actual run. I think the npm command you did before
Mhm.
was just to run or just ran the tests, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it was just a node to the index.js, which I'm trying now. I mean, it says it's running on stdio.
Standard IO, yeah. So try to where's the why don't you prompt back to well, I guess it gave you it in the text. I was gonna say prompt in and ask it for what the MCP configuration is for it or the MCP settings are. And that way you can just try to add it to your
Oh,
IDE and see what and see if it actually connects.
yeah, for sure. I gave it here, so we can try to add it to Augment. Um, see if that works. Hmm.
So all you usually do is go in there. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. And go in and see what the logs say.
Oh, here we go. Error. MCP 3200 connection closed. Cannot find. Oh, I didn't give it the right path. Okay, that looks good. Okay, that connected.
Six. So try to query it and see what happens.
All right. Use the augment MCP query code base to ask about this code base. Terminal. I think it's getting confused with all the. Let me try it in a new session. The tool connected. Don't use terminal commands. Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
It called it. Let's see if it returns.
Now, in the meantime, while this is calling, why don't we
Mhm.
hop into the code for the MCP server because I want to
Sure.
see what that looks like, so that we can look at
Which,
the Sentry instrumentation setup stuff. It's going to probably an index.
yeah, it's pretty cool. It's probably just like one file.
Yeah, so there's that const server equals new MCP server. This is what's pretty
Mhm.
cool about the way we built the MCP monitoring in Sentry. So as this is actually it gave us some answers over there on the side. What is did it run successfully?
Um, and found this appears to be a Mac OS system with many projects. Okay, so I'm assuming it ran it in the wrong workspace folder. Yeah. So it worked, but it like ran the Augie CLI in my root
Oh,
development
geez.
folder instead of in this code base. So
So
yeah.
that worked. I mean, it still called and got successful. So actually,
Yeah.
you go click if you go click on that one tool used below, you probably see the output of it on the bottom on the left.
No,
Oh, unfortunately, oh,
unfortunately.
that's a bummer. Okay.
Yeah.
On the right, you can see on the top of that code. So scroll back to the top.
Yeah.
There, the const server equals new MCP server. That
This one.
server
Yeah.
object is ultimately what like we made the MCP monitoring in Sentry like really really easy. All you
Mm-hmm.
do is wrap that server or that server object. It's wrapped inside of a MCP handler that will once that's set up, it'll track everything about that MCP server. So we get like tool call duration and latency. We get
Awesome.
tool performance. So all this stuff is like real easy to set up.
Should we do that?
Yeah, let's do it real quick. You have I assume you have a Sentry environment, or if you don't, we can sign one up real fast.
I should. Is it Sentry.io?
Yep.
Pretty sure I made one. Looks like it pre-filled, so
That's weird.
that's promising. Here we go. It's something I had before. Should I create like a new?
Yeah, let's do a new project. So go top left and click on in there and go to projects.
Yep.
We should create project.
Awesome.
And then this is just straight up like Node JavaScript. So click on Node.
Yep.
And then give it a name on the bottom left. So just, I don't know, MCP build something.
Yeah. We'll just
Usually
leave it on team. Yeah.
Nope,
Vanilla.
Cool. So we'll sit tight here. Go to the docs.sentry.io.
Yep.
And then in the search up top, type in MCP.
This one?
Instrument MCP servers, that first one right there. And then change the language to JavaScript on the top left. Or Node, rather, type in Node.
All right.
And it cleared out. So go to tracing on the left. I believe we buried it in here. Actually, go back up to the search and just type in MCP again.
This one?
And then go back.
It goes to Python though.
Yeah, that's just because it's the top one on the one on the list. Scroll down. Scroll down. Yeah, let me grab the link. I have it bookmarked. I need to.
Right.
This is a good call out because I need to actually fix this. All right, so go click on the docs link on the top left, so you get back to home, and then scroll down to. Oops, I lost our window. Where did we go? There you go. Go scroll up a little bit. Go to what is Sentry. Go to Insights. Scroll down. Go to. I just had it up. Go to AI performance. Should be in there. Or are we in the product walkthrough section?
AI performance MCP.
Yep. Set up. Yep. And then scroll down. So we'll need to install the MCP server or the node, the Sentry node package. So
yeah,
we'll do like
I think I have that here. That one.
Yep. Go ahead and do that.
And then wrap that thing in this.
So then on the what I like to do is go into before we do that, go back into your code.
Yeah.
And create a new file in the same directory and call it instrument.ts.
Okay.
And then go back to the Sentry. Paste that in.
The whole thing.
Sentry init.
In instrument.
Yeah, but then delete the MCP server line. Delete line 2. And then delete the const server down on the bottom. We're going to do this a little bit separate, and I'll tell you why in a second.
Cool.
Okay. So it's saying we don't have the Sentry node installed, but
it's still installing.
Yeah. So now make sure that DSN matches the one that was from your dashboard.
Where do I
Go back to
find that?
Sentry,
Sentry. Oh, right.
and
Here.
then that
This
on
one?
on that line right there. Yeah.
Okay, just copy this. Right?
Well, it's gonna paste the whole thing now.
Oh, is that
That's
no?
fine.
Okay, I guess. Okay,
That's fine.
I noticed the traces sample rate wasn't there, so I don't know if that makes a difference.
Yeah, let's leave it at 1.0 because it's gonna make sure it's
Yeah.
turned on then. Why it's taking so long to install? It's concerning.
It's npm. Maybe I should have used pm or something.
Maybe.
Should I try that or?
Yeah, go ahead and
leave it?
cancel and try.
I don't know if that looks better. Yeah, definitely better.
There we go. Cool. Now in a few seconds, it should update. There we go. Cool. So we're good there. So save this. Now go back to your index.ts.
Yep.
Now on the very first line of the whole doc, all the way up top, do import instrument.ts.
Yep. Like
and
that.
we do this because we want Sentry to hook in early. Got to put single quotes around it. There you go. We want Sentry to hook in as early as possible in the flow so that we get all telemetry brought in. Go ahead and go back to instrument.ts. Do one quick thing. We're going to do two cool things. First, we're going to do a new line below 3. Below line. I'm sorry about numbers.
Sorry, I got relative numbers here.
Yeah. Below the traces sample rate.
Okay. Got it.
Do enable capital L OGS.
Yep.
True.
Yep.
Next line. Do integrations. Make it an array. Colon array. Delete that the Sentry Pino line. Do Sentry capital S dot console logging integration.
Yep.
Feature, and then do parentheses. There you go. Cool. So that's there. And then do a new line and do debug true.
Got it.
Cool. So now we have logs turned on automatically. So we're going to get whatever console logs come through are going to get sent to the Sentry. Makes it easier to search. And then we're going to see debug logs so that when everything spins up, we can make sure that it actually turns on the right way.
Awesome.
So now go back to your index.ts.
Yep.
And now go back to the docs real fast.
Yeah.
So so you see where it says const server. You can see that looks almost identical to what you have, right? And so we're going to grab just that with Sentry MCP. We're going to paste that right in front, and then we got to close off the parentheses on the very bottom.
Oh yeah. Cool. Do I gotta import Sentry?
Yeah, I just got to import Sentry, even though we're importing. So same line basically. Just plug it right in.
Yeah. Got it.
That's it. So that
Sweet.
is committed now. So now when you go and restart your server, we should see a bunch of logs come through.
Okay, let's do it.
So go start up the MCP again.
Here.
Well, no, you have to actually go turn it back on again.
So I think this just does the node call, so it should do that, I hope. Not sure if it will, but we should be able to see it in here if it did work, or
not right away. It'll take
not right away.
Seconds. But let's make sure that tool calls show up inside your editor first.
Okay, so maybe I'll just run the same thing. That might have just... I might have to...
You shouldn't have to rebuild or anything.
Not rebuild, but just remove the whole thing. Because I think this might just like set a flag disabled.
Well, it's supposed to actually, it should just reconnect entirely, especially since it's a local file. But if we need to, we can try. Go into Sentry and go click on Explore on the left.
Yep.
And then go to Traces. And then do like a hard refresh. Yeah, nothing's coming through yet. Go to Logs. Yeah. Nothing else. You might have to.
Yeah. Let me do that. Let me just copy this, delete, do a reload Windows to be extra sure. Um,
So scroll up in those logs for that MCP server because we should have seen it actually spin up a bunch of Sentry debug information.
Let me
Go
just
go just
run
run
it.
it. Go
Yeah.
run it straight up as a node and
Yeah.
see what it says.
Yeah, let me do that. Okay, this seemed fine. Should I get some logs now or?
Yeah, that's what's weird is it should have pulled in a bunch of information. I'm not sure why it's not pulling all of it in. Because running it as just like node, running it with node should just run the file directly, and so all that Sentry stuff should have come through.
Let me double check this is right. 392. Where was that instrument? 392. Okay.
All those files are saved, so there should be good.
Yeah. So you would expect to see some like console out here with Sentry
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean, we should have seen all the debug logs for Sentry show up. Go back to index.ts and make it full screen so I can see everything. Try this. Go ahead and we'll try it anyways. Go back into the instrument.ts, copy the whole thing. Or just copy the init. You can leave that top part on. Just copy the init.
Yep.
Go back into index.ts, delete the import instrument up top. Doesn't seem like it's pulling that in correctly. And then just paste that on the right there.
I think I gotta copy it again. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Try like that.
Yeah.
Still the same. Let me just add a. I don't know if this will work, but sanity check.
Go back to
oh, maybe because this is in dist.
Oh, we built. That's right.
Yeah.
That's man. Such a rookie move. Not, undo the previous changes though.
Okay.
Because it really shouldn't be this way. So just Command Z it over and over again. There you go.
Got it.
Oh, that was the worst.
It's okay.
Such a rookie move.
All right, there we go. We got at least something now. Cannot find instrument. Should it be dot?
Slash, yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Just do instrument instead.
Instead of
don't
.ts.
Yes on the end. Yeah. Okay. Go. Let me see your file tree real quick, just to make sure we didn't like do something weird.
You see that?
Yeah, it should be fine. Oh, again, relative paths, because you're not. It's not building that inside inside of dist. What is it?
JS.
Yeah, so just do the instrument.js for now.
Okay.
There we go. Now we're alive.
Now we're talking.
All right. So now go. So cancel that and go and reload it into Augment.
Yep. Let's see if that works.
So now if you go into Sentry and you go refresh those screens, you should see some data.
Yeah, let's go
So
explore.
go into traces, hard refresh. Oh, not yet. Nothing's come in yet, so that's all right.
Let me do this. Even on the we haven't run any commands, it should show something.
Yeah, we should start seeing we should have seen like initial connection information.
Yeah.
Especially because we turned on sampling for tracing anyways. So
Give it some time.
yeah, it's not going to show up live, so we'll have to refresh. But why don't you go back to what was the next steps in what it was building while it runs in the background? It's like, what else were you going to add on to it?
Oh yeah, so I was gonna fix the workspace thing.
Yeah, go fix that because that'll give
Okay.
it time to actually push stuff in.
So that it uses Augie flag workspace root. It should always use the path. Okay. It's using Augment query code base instead of. Oh, it does have a workspace root. Just didn't call it correctly. Interesting. Oh, nice. Okay.
There we go. Now we're getting
logs.
Now we're getting stuff. So now go to Insights on the left.
Insights.
Go to AI.
Ooh, AI Insights.
The AI menu, right?
Let's go.
And here we go. So scroll down.
Mm-hmm.
So there you can see your tool call coming through, query code base. Click on that.
Oh yeah, nice.
And then go click on one of those on the right.
This one?
And these are the individual spans. And so like you can imagine, so look on the input on the right. So you can see what it's actually doing in and out.
Oh yeah.
So you had like an interesting problem, right? Where it was you were expecting it to be using like a different workspace or a different configuration.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a lot of the stuff that people normally don't get to see around when tool calls are executing. Like it's easy to see what you're asking for, but like what it does behind the scenes and the interactions that the LLM uses that tool call for are usually like transparent. Like you don't see those. And so having this set up lets you be able to get good visibility into like what's happening back and forth inside of those tool calls, like what the results look like, how you can tune your query if there's an error. Now imagine if you had where this gets really cool, because there's like a lot of tools that will gather that stuff. But now imagine that your tool call actually went and made modifications to a database. So it called an API that adds database rows. Well, now with Sentry set up, you'll be able to see the instrumentation down to that database level also. And so if you're getting a ton of database performance issues, but it looks like the AI is just failing, you'll be able to understand really quickly, like, okay, is this failing at the MCP layer inside of my MCP server? Or is this actually the API that's interacting with my database that's a problem? And so you get like the full visibility of how the app is actually working.
Yeah, this is great. You even get like the architecture that the device is running on.
Yep.
What else? And I saw like memory usage down the bottom, I think. Pretty good. Awesome. Anything else we could inspect or
Go into logs?
Logs? Yep.
So they're not a lot in there because we haven't added much, but
Yeah.
you can see like these are logs that are coming through. We can do a lot of like interesting logs off of like the tool calls as well. And so like, you can create structured logs off of those that'll be searchable. So if you wanted to be able to like send the results in and be able to search them, or you want to be able to query who is actually connecting and using it, like you could add that stuff in. So logs are super easy to get started with and make it really easy, like debug problems on the fly.
Yeah.
Tracing gives you a lot more like a performance view into what's happening, whereas logs
Hmm.
give you a lot closer to like a runtime view of how things are happening.
Got it. Awesome. And could we set up like alerts if something goes wrong
Totally.
or?
We on the Sentry MCP server, we have alerts set up on tool call usage so that if we see like a drop, like an anomaly drop in the
Hmm.
frequency of tool usage, that way we know if something's wrong. So for example, like if we're seeing a steady state of 100 tool calls an hour, just as an example, and suddenly that drops down to like 70 in an hour, we'll get an alert about it that like, hey, yeah, notification, the tool call usage has dropped significantly. Check it out. And so we do like anomaly alerting off all of this because it is like ultimately like a token based service. Also, we can do like token alerting. So if you see like token usage ballooning on tool calls, like you can kind of
Hmm.
grab that. Obviously, tool call performance is a thing. So like how long does it take to execute? All of that stuff is doable also,
Awesome. That's really cool.
and very easy. That's what I liked about it. It's very easy to get it actually set up and running.
Yeah, it just wrap. So I assume like it's different depending on, Python would be slightly different and
It's very
stuff
slightly,
like
but
that.
not
Yeah.
by much. Not by
Yeah.
much. We try to keep it pretty consistent.
But essentially just wrap like the main kind of initial thing in a Sentry method, right? Like kind of like what we did here. Very cool.
And like, I
Awesome.
mean, you
So
saw how fast it was to get started with like having it all set up. We did it in about 10 minutes. And honestly, if we had
yeah.
not messed up if I caught that we were doing a build, like we would have been set
Mm.
up at 5.
Yeah, yeah. Rookie mistake there from us. It's all
Totally,
good.
totally.
Yeah, so yeah, as you said, it was super fast. So we do still have like 10 minutes left of this stream. Do you have any ideas of what we should go into or what you'd like to
No, I mean, like
see?
that's what I wanted to show getting that set up. Like, obviously, you've built out the tool calls a bit now, and so like as you go and like use new tool calls, like these will
Hmm.
automatically be tracked and built out. So I think that's a pretty cool approach to it. We also have like the AI monitoring, but that's more for if you're like adding AI into the application itself. So like that's why it's in a different tab. It's separate. It's like agent monitoring gives you the same thing, but for like back and forth interactions with agents.
Mm.
But no, this was great. It was cool to be able to see how fast we got it up and running.
Yeah, I have one question I just popped into my mind in terms of like security, I guess. Like if I accidentally push all of this code to like a public repo, it's like anyone can like push these logs, I guess, to my Sentry. So is there like would we put this in like an environment variable typically
So
or
we don't consider it a secret. It doesn't control any
okay.
change data. So like it can't modify your environment. All it can do is use like people could send more information to you.
Yeah.
So like you're not in trouble for committing that. I tend to like putting mine in an environment variable because I did a workshop once and I shared it out and I'm still getting notifications from
Yeah.
people who clone the repo and like build a project off of it and they end up using my DSN. So like I did this as part of like a hackathon a while back and it was a very big hackathon. And so like
Hmm.
I was getting like several hundred of these alerts a day because people had cloned
Damn.
the repo and like
Yeah.
had my DSN set. And I can't like I don't know who these people are, so I can't like reach out to them and be like, hey, can you remove my DSN, please? So
Can you rotate it?
yeah, I could,
Yeah,
but then I
okay.
have to go click buttons, and that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good idea to plug it in an environment variable, but no one's gonna scream at you in security if you don't.
Yeah, yeah. It's more of a nuisance than
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah, totally,
security risk, I guess.
totally,
Okay.
totally. Well, cool, man. This was a ton of fun.
Cool. Yeah, thank you so much, Cody. It's been a real pleasure to have you on.
We'll have to do it
And
again sometime and build. Maybe next time we'll do it in reverse, and I'll build like the next JS path or something.
yes, that sounds good.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks a
All right.
lot.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Bye bye. All right, that was great. Thanks everyone who joined in. I hope you learned something. The Augment Code MCP that I did make prior to this is public. Augment Context MCP server. But yeah, I mean, if you want to create your own MCP server for anything, it's super easy with Augment. As you saw, that this one was literally one prompt. I mean, it was a bit of a detailed prompt. I used the prompt enhancer. I guess as I said earlier, a big tip for these kind of one-shot prompts is actually to get the agent to first do research. These, especially for new technologies like Model Context Protocol, a lot of these LLM models, underlying models, might not have up to date docs or information on the latest best practices and the way to do stuff. So, definitely having a research phase. With Augment, it can do its own web research. I used Exa in this example. I just like trying new tools out, and Exa's been pretty great. I haven't compared to how it would be using the inbuilt Augment web search, but I'm sure it'd be just as good. And then I didn't have to tell Augment to do this, but testing is pretty good for one-shot prompts too. Augment is great at testing its own code, so you'll see here it ran tests to ensure things were working, and a lot, like 90% of the time, things don't work the first time. Like any senior developer knows that like you're rarely gonna write working code the first time. So testing it, and then as you saw, I had to edit some things to fix the test or fix the code so the test pass, and then eventually project was completed. And yeah, I mean that I think that ended up taking like 15 minutes to get us Augie context MCP. So really impressive stuff there. But yeah, we're gonna wrap up here. Thank you all for joining. I hope you have a good day or night wherever you are, and see you next time.